Welcome to Leadership Tuesdays. My name is Nona Ogunsula. Today we're talking with April Rain, the creator of the social media hashtag OscarsSoWhite.
Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs and Chris Pine.
Welcome. What an exciting morning. Thank you, Alfonso and JJ, for kicking it all off. Chris, let's continue. For performance by an actor in a supporting role, the nominees are Robert Duvall in The Judge, Ethan Hawke in Boyhood, Edward Norton in Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, Mark Ruffalo in Foxcatcher, and J.K. Simmons in Whiplash.
For performance by an actress in a supporting role, the nominees are Patricia Arquette in Boyhood,
OscarsSoWhite, they asked to touch my hair.
With that tweet, April Rain began a Twitter storm that would make waves around the world and cause the Oscars to have to respond. But before we get to that, let's find out who is April Rain.
I was born in New Jersey. My father was in the military, so we moved around quite a bit. Initially, I wanted to be a zoologist, and then I learned that I was allergic to every animal brought over on Noah's Ark. And so then it changed to child psychologist. Obviously, that didn't stay forever. I practiced law for about 20 years, and although it was a very comfortable and lucrative job, it was not speaking to me creatively. There was no passion involved. So I began writing as an avocation outside of my job and became managing editor of Broadway Black, which is an online digital publication that celebrates and highlights the achievements of African Americans on and off the Broadway stage. And then in January of 2015, I created OscarsSoWhite, and everything changed. I had no expectations about the hashtag initially. It was a snarky comment that I was making, and I finished getting ready for work and went on about my day. It wasn't until I checked in on social media around lunchtime that I realized that it was trending internationally, and then I had to make a determination whether I was going to be the face of whatever this was becoming.
In creating the hashtag OscarsSoWhite, April Rain gave voice to fans who were frustrated that movies like Selma, starring an all-black cast, had not been recognized in the acting and directing categories. With that single tweet, she immediately elevated the public's awareness of the lack of diversity in the Academy's voting membership. The next day, the Academy's president had to respond.
I am very encouraged by the incremental steps that we have seen since I created OscarsSoWhite in January of 2015. We know that the Academy has now committed, under former President Cheryl Boone Isaacs, to double the number of women and people of color by 2020. So that means for the last 2 years now, since OscarsSoWhite was created, the Academy has invited their largest and most diverse classes in the nearly 90-year history. Other awards ceremonies are also following suit. For example, the BAFTA Awards in London, which is basically equivalent to our Oscars, now has 2 additional categories in which you cannot even be nominated unless you can prove diversity and inclusion on your sets of the films. In addition, there are a myriad of producers, networks, studios, individuals who are now thinking about issues of diversity and inclusion, committing to diversifying and making more inclusive their sets. There are fellowships and grants and scholarships available that did not exist before OscarsSoWhite. So I'm very encouraged by all of that, but there's still a lot more that needs to be done. And I think we'll see that once the Oscar nominations come out in January of 2018. Based on the amount of inclusion of marginalized communities in the movies that were released in 2017, I am not hopeful about the award ceremonies and the entire award season for the 2017-18 year. There just hasn't been enough progress. I don't rate movies individually because people then say, you know, I'm playing favorites, but you know, if you just think about how many movies you've seen with women as the leads, with the LGBT plus community as the leads, with Asian American Pacific Islanders as the leads, you can probably count them all on two hands, and that's the problem. So until we have more inclusion, not only in front of the camera with the actors and actresses, but also behind the camera with the directors, the cinematographers, the screenwriters, OscarsSoWhite will still remain incredibly relevant, and I think that this year will be even less inclusive than last year.